Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the vlog. Well, today we're going to be talking about Anthony Senta. He's been released. He got out of federal prison on April 29th. He's only been out a week or so. And he and his sidekick, Joey Testa, was convicted of 11 murders. And everybody's asking me, well, what do you think of that? And, well, if you get convicted of 11 murders, I don't think you should ever get out, because there's 11 families somewhere out there that'll never get over the loss of their loved ones, all except Roy DeMeo. And nobody's ever been convicted of his murder. And the twins were suspected by law enforcement as the ones that killed him. And I believe it, and everyone else does. And the sad part about this whole thing is there's no statute of limitations on murder, and so they can't talk about it. So I wish they would do like an O.J. Simpson. What if, hypothetically, I did it? Because I want to hear. I have such disdain, anger over this Roy DeMeo. You're not. I'm a Catholic, and you're not supposed to hate. But even though this guy's been dead since '83, the more I learned about him over the last 3 years, I never knew what he turned into. Only if it wasn't for YouTube, I just thought he was another jerk off wannabe mobster from the '70s. But towards the end of Roy DeMeo's life, he knew he was getting killed. He knew Paul wanted him dead, but everybody was afraid to hit him. John Gotti, and what the fuck? Tell me what he was afraid of. Nothing except whacking him. He knew that if he didn't do it right, he was going to get killed. So even John Gotti turned down whacking DeMeo, because he was afraid of him. But apparently Paul Castellano wasn't afraid, and either was the twins, because they lured him into a garage and whacked him. So I would love to hear, and I recall, I think he had defensive wounds to his hands. I don't think he wanted to get shot in the face, and I think he was shot in the face. I knew he was shot in the chest, and I think he had defensive wounds, like when he saw it coming. I would love to hear that story. Boy, wouldn't I, if he could do like well, what if I killed him? I'm not saying I killed him, but if I did kill him, I'm sure that it would have went this way. I would have pulled out my gun. He would have went, oh shit, and then he would have started pumping. I want to hear that story so bad, so bad, and so bad. And I don't know. I'm pretty sure Anthony is out. I'm pretty sure he knows that he can make a lot of money on social media, YouTube, TikTok, and all. So I'm thinking that's the route he's going to go. I don't know if his parole officer is going to allow him to do that, to go on, and I'm not sure if they will allow that. And he does have life parole, so he's always going to be answering to a parole officer somewhere in his life. I mean, they can put him on what's called unsupervised parole, and after a while, they don't even bother with you unless you get in trouble. And this guy did 35 years? It was a long time. So my answer to all you guys' question: if you get convicted of whacking 11 people, you should never get out. You should never be paroled. I mean, unless you whacked 11 Roy DeMeos, then you get a attaboy, and I'll give you 11 more bullets. A little present. Here you go. That's the story I want to hear. I want to hear from him on how, when Roy met his fate, did he beg for his life like the true coward I know he was? Would take the gun away from him, see what kind of balls he has then. And if you look at some of my videos, there was at least 2 occasions where he was trying to lure me into a tree. He wanted to kill me so bad because I witnessed him get punked out by my boss, God bless his soul, Joey Bikini. Joey Bikini kicked him in the ass, threw him out the door, out the shop door, and he took off like a true bitch. And the boy, did that guy hate me because I was the start of it. I didn't even do anything. Well, I didn't even say a word. I was sitting on the couch. He comes in, hey, what's that? And then, what do you mean? It's my kid will take a walk. When he told me to take a walk, and I'm Joey's kid, he employs me. And when he told Joey, when he told me, take a walk, who's the kid? That's my kid. I will take a walk. Oh, shit. Joey slapped and kicked the shit out of him. And I witnessed it. And boy, he didn't like me walking around with that story. And I didn't like the guy. And I didn't, Chris, I wound up stealing. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. Well, you guys can go back and listen to all my Roy DeMeo videos. I did wind up stealing cars with Roy DeMeo and Chris, especially Chris. And Chris wasn't bad. He was just a pothead. I didn't think very much of either one of these two characters until I figured out what Roy DeMeo turned into. Then we started doing videos on him, and then that led us to the 59th Street Bridge, where I put one of Roy DeMeo's cars in the river, but not before smelling a decomposing body on the way. So that's what's going on right now. We're going to be back in New York City on June 10th with the dive teams, plural, and we're going to be searching for remains of Nicholas Masucci. Nicholas's daughter, Fran, will be with us on board the boats as we do a real, last time we was there, we found the vehicle, we found the Lincoln at the very end of the dive. Now, you can only dive in the East River for a 45-minute window, which is called slack tide. And so they found it at the end, and then they had to go someplace else. So anyway, we're going to go there, and we're going to be, no, not me. I mean, I'm going to be there, but, these divers know what they're doing. Just check out their channel, Adam Brown's Adventures and Exploring with Nug. These are professional divers that's what they do. They search for cars that were in water, and where their owner went missing with the car around bodies of water all over the United States. A very, very, very interesting channel. You should check it out. And so that's my spin on this guy, Anthony Senta. He got out. He did 35 years. But 30, he did 30 years. His partner got 5 more years than he did, so he'll be out in 5 years too. And to answer everybody's question once again, you whack 11 people. I don't think you should ever see daylight. I just don't. There's 11 families out there that I'm not going to keep going over and over. But to answer the question, no, I don't. The only thing that I would like to hear from him is how Roy met his fate and how he acted, because I'm betting he acted like the true bitch that he was. True bitch. Take his gun away, the fat pot-bellied prick. Take his gun away, and let's see how tough he really was. And if you guys haven't already liked and subscribed, the numbers those are some embarrassing numbers. Oh, what am I doing here? I don't even know what I'm doing here. I know I'm entertaining the people that did subscribe, the 4,879, whatever it is. So hit the like button, hit the friggin' subscribe. It don't cost you nothing. And I'll see you all on the next one.